plastic bag, drifting through the wind, wanting to start again. Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under screens, but no one seems to hear a thing? Do you know that there's still a chance for you, 'cause there's a spark in you? You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just on the night, like the 4th of July.
My name is Faye Warren. How is everybody doing? I graduated from St. Andrews University in North Carolina with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in English and Creative Writing, a 6 years college degree in 2004. Yeah, I'm pretty old. Presently, I live independently thanks to my aides and supporting independence. I have 5 aides who help me live life independently almost around the clock. It is pretty amazing. I work as a consultant for FDLRS, which is the Florida Diagnostic and Learning Resources. FDLRS employs me as an assistive technology teaching consultant for students who have different types of communication devices in Orange County Public Schools. I teach them how to structure sentences on their communication devices, social skills, communication skills, self-esteem skills, problem-solving skills, self-confidence skills, and so on. Furthermore, I give lectures to teachers and students who are becoming speech-language pathologists to teach their clients how to communicate properly on their communication devices and give suggestions on to how to teach the students with disabilities like any other students without disabilities. Also, I do disability awareness in the regular education classes. I absolutely love making a difference in people's lives. Now, how did I face my disabilities and overcome the difficulties of life, especially in the classrooms? Well, ladies and gentlemen, before my family and I moved to Florida from Tennessee and before I entered the 7th grade, I was not in fact taught at the same level as students without disabilities due to my physical performances, but at much lower of education. This of course put me below the grade level in critical academics such as math and reading. Unfortunately, a lot of teachers did not understand how my body worked, nor did they have the time to learn. For an example, furthermore, the teachers that I had thought I was mentally slow, and so they put me in classes with the mentally challenged students in early elementary school due to the fact that I had a bad speech impairment and too many eye issues that they didn't know about. The other factor was that a special education teacher performed a test on me when I was 4 years old to determine whether or not if I was mentally impaired. Guess what the test was? The test was based on whether or not I could stack building blocks. I could not do it due to the significant damage due to my motor functions. It did not have anything to do with how intelligent I was. That was why they assumed I was mentally involved as well as physically disabled. At this point, my mother hired a psychologist outside the school system to test me. Plus, she had the school speech pathologist test me using the Peabody Picture Vocabulary Test and the Columbia Mental Maturity Test were some of the tools used to measure my intelligence. I passed above average. These tests were repeated when I was 7 years old. In spite of this, I was treated as being slow by teachers in Tennessee. However, someone new came into my life. Everything changed once. Now I am proud to say Mrs. Kathy Bodo is my amazing supervisor. Everything changed once I met a speech teacher, Mrs. Kathy Bodo, who slowly convinced everybody to put word strategy, a new software program, into my first communication device called the Touch Talker. Now I am proud to say Mrs. Kathy Boney was my amazing supervisor. My communication device definitely helped me read much better by making my communication device talk back to me, because also, the software in my communication device has a level that brings up long words in 2 or 3 keystrokes by keying off parts of speech. I was having trouble with the words that I was trying to learn. Imagine somebody setting a computer on fire, and then somebody else tries to use the computer, trying to type something on it. The computer wires are badly burned. So, the messages cannot process and get through, or the messages get mixed up. That is what cerebral palsy means. In my case, during my birth, the doctor accidentally over-medicated my mother. The medicine went through my mother into my brain, destroying some of my brain cells because of oxygen loss. This destroyed some of my brain cells that control motor functions. This resulted in cerebral palsy. Fortunately, it did not destroy the gray matter where the intelligence lies, thank God. Although, I'm still crazy. Ha ha ha. My family came to Orlando, Florida, when I was 11 years old. I went to a center school, Lake Silver Elementary School. However, someone new came into my life just before I transferred to a new middle school called Southwest Middle School that opened up in my neighborhood. Therefore, everything got much better. As I entered the 7th grade, I was transferred to Southwest Middle. There was a remarkable teacher, Miss Hackett, who realized that I was as smart as anybody else without a disability. Therefore, she gave a chance and integrated me into regular education classes. Then after a month or more, I met some friends who were very willing to assist me in note-taking, getting books out of my book bag, and so on. If I needed to read a book in class, a friend took off my communication device from my stand that was attached to my tray and put the book in its place. My head pointer was left on my head, so I could turn the pages of the book. Friends took place of an academic aid. Now, I had the confidence to succeed in the classroom with the help of my friends and my teachers. Also, I had more determination than Miss Hackett realized. Therefore, she decided that I did not need an aide and reassigned her to someone else. However, one of the regular education teachers did not agree with her, and so she sent one of her students to get the aide. It caused a problem between Miss Hackett and that teacher, who felt uncomfortable with me being in her class without an aide because of what she said. What if I choke or get sick during class? Then I don't know what I am supposed to do. She never had a student with disabilities before. Therefore, she was frightened that something would happen to me during class. That same day, Miss Hackett and I had a meeting with her to reassure her that everything will be all right and I can handle everything that all of the other students can handle without physical challenges, but at much slower rate than the other students. So, all of my teachers allowed me to have extensions on my assignments, especially my writing assignments and tests. Also, the teachers reduced my workload from 40 problems to 20 problems, or all of the even problems or odd problems on a particular page that the assignment was on. Lastly, the teachers always allowed me to have 2 books. That way, I have one book at home to study from, and the other book in the classroom to read along slowly or work in, if needed. Miss Hackett and I convinced the regular education teachers I could make it all year in their classes without an aide. The same teacher who was afraid
This question was the last class, because I asked how long it took her to do that speech she just gave you, because no one recorded that for you. She typed every single letter, just like if you were typing using one finger, and I think it was 8 to 10 hours it took you to type that. hard to see. There's a little sticker, and just like you would move the mouse touch letters, that's what she uses the head mouse for. Ah, like you were wondering why she was moving her head. Each, did you hear each little click?
Yeah. What other questions do you guys have from this day? Yes,
This
John.
reflector dot reads my head movements, and when I point Twiki for 5 seconds, it would automatically pick the key.
Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you work. Make 'em go, as you should.